Here's a question for you. Would you consider doing a Zoom trial if it was binding?
That's a tougher question. I'm not sure I'm ready to commit to that. This was an experiment that we did for a day. And during the course of the day, we didn't have any technical difficulties. There wasn't any interruptions in the jurors' homes. They had all been told, make sure you're in a quiet place. And so they'd either had their family go away or they were in a separate part of their house. So there weren't any kids that ran in. There weren't any phones that rang. There weren't any dogs that were barking. And that was great for a day. My concern would be, can you mimic that, or can you replicate that for an entire week or 2 weeks?
Yeah.
That's difficult. I think the other thing that is difficult too is, can the jury realistically go through the evidence in the case and then make a decision based on the evidence? We introduced some exhibits. It was very streamlined. I think I had 4 exhibits of 10 pages. Had this case gone to trial, probably would have had 30 exhibits and a couple thousand pages. I don't know how you could realistically go through that if it was a full-blown trial. Now, granted, there are some juries that get the evidence back there and they don't go through it either. But my concern is that they would hardly look at anything just because of the complicated nature of it.
Or maybe having to, to the extent possible, pre-admit evidence and send them a notebook each. I'm just trying to think of solutions to these issues.
Right.
But even then, it's hard because in a jury room, they have one set of exhibits and they can show things to each other and point out. And I guess you could do that from a share screen, but finding things and having the technological, the ease with the technology and to be able to know how to find it in the PDF, know how to share the screen, know how to highlight something so that people can see it. You can't expect a jury to get that necessarily.
Yeah. And, they floated the idea of sending the exhibits to the jury beforehand.
Uh-huh.
I was against that, and ultimately we agreed not to do that because you don't want the jury fumbling through exhibits, virtually while you're trying to put on evidence, just like you don't want, for the most part, them looking at exhibits in the jury box when you have
Right.
testifying.